are you? What are you doing here?
Gazer Beam, you're alive! Man, I was worried about you.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at 10 moments where LEGO games rewrote the stories they adapted.
Huh?
Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Irina Boss Fight. Overall, Indy never really has a final showdown with his foes. Every movie, even Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, ends with a spectacle that shows the supernatural elements of the treasure featured in the movie.
I want to know. Tell me. I'm ready. I want to know.
However, TT Games had to take creative liberties for the sake of gameplay. Rather than kill Irina off from being overwhelmed by the aliens' powers, she is imbued with them in LEGO Indy 2. What follows is a super underwhelming end to the second worst movie in the franchise. At least you can say it is over. The new heroes. As we've seen in both Incredibles and its mediocre sequel, there have been a ton of supers the Parr family were once friends with. Unfortunately, many have left. Some not by their own accord. Thing is that TT Games couldn't have players play through levels solo, and so LEGO The Incredibles forces some of the side characters to join Elastigirl as she investigates the screenslaver's whereabouts and identity. The same thing was done when playing through the first movie, with Frozone heading to Nomanison Island with Mr. Incredible. On top of that, the overworld crime waves see two original villains wreaking havoc across Municiberg and New Urbum. The Duplo Invaders.
Ooh.
We know that this may not sound like it makes sense at first. After all, the LEGO Movie 2 video game starts at the exact same moment the movie does, with the Duplo invaders waging war with the LEGO world.
We are from the planet Duplo, and we are here to destroy you.
These creatures pop up in some moments throughout the game, but they look a little odd, wouldn't you say? Yes, for some reason, the video game portrays the Duplo invaders as being made of LEGO bricks. We understand liberties were taken for the sake of gameplay, but at that point, they aren't really Duplo if they aren't made out of, you know, Duplo. Radagast the Brown. Radagast is perhaps the weirdest character to be included in LEGO Lord of the Rings. To TT Games' credit, perhaps he was thrown in as a way to make the game a celebration of the acclaimed fantasy franchise. However, we still find his inclusion bizarre because he just never appeared in the movies nor the books in the first place. He is only briefly mentioned in the Fellowship of the Ring when our heroes meet with the Council of Elrond. He does appear in the Hobbit movies, but those didn't exist until a few years after the game was released.
Well, that would be Radagast, the Brown.
Is he a great wizard, or is he more like you?
It just doesn't make much sense to have him here from a lore-based perspective. Donovan and the Grail. We were trying not to have another indie villain on this list, but we are sorely confused about what happened with Donovan. In The Last Crusade, the Legend of the Holy Grail demands the Seeker choose from a massive selection of chalices and pray they drink from the correct one. The rest are cursed and will cause the one who drinks from them to perish. The movie made this clear when Donovan drank from the wrong cup and wound up turning to dust. So why in the world is he suddenly an overpowered zombie in LEGO Indy 2? It just doesn't make any sense, man. Greedo's fate. Now this change, we're sort of understanding it was made for the sake of a joke. LEGO Star Wars 2 depicted Greedo's death in a creative way fit for LEGO. Skywalker Saga, on the other hand, opted for a movie reference. When Luke and Obi-Wan meet with Han Solo, the smuggler is in a small shootout with Greedo that ends with both of them running out of ammo. Han throws his gun at his adversary, who then walks away in shame.
Huh?
and still alive. We know this was done just to make a Naked Gun reference, but with Greedo running around, what became of him in TT Games' new depiction of the fight?
Okay, you guys got yourselves a ship. We'll leave as soon as you're ready. Docking Bay 94.
94.
No live actors.
Surprise! And not a pleasant surprise like a birthday party. Oh no, it's the other kind of surprise. Like a giant robot that's gonna kick you in the pants.
For the most part, the LEGO Movie video game does follow the movie beat for beat, from the key story moments to the entire prophecy of the Chosen One being a bunch of hippy-dippy baloney. But one key moment left out of the game was the story between the son and his father, the real Lord Business.
Let's put everything back the way you found it.
But Dad, you don't understand.
So I can make things the way they're supposed to be.
Of course, we can understand why this was completely removed from the game. Legal requirements to get Will Ferrell to approve of his appearance in the game can be costly. Why go through the trouble when you can just re-edit it to a simpler, trimmed-down version of Emmett's monologue?
You don't have to be the bad guy.
Denethor. We don't mean to complain too much about character inclusions, especially since LEGO Lord of the Rings is now 2 for 2 in this department. Denethor is one of several characters you can unlock as you progress, and yet he has absolutely no part in the game's version of the story whatsoever. All of his scenes are wiped from the narrative, yet he is fully playable with his own abilities and everything. It's worth noting Denethor does have a part in the story when played on DS and 3DS, but every other version saw him removed for some reason. Gazer Beam.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Gazer Beam, you're alive! Man, I was worried about you.
Now this was a creative liberty done for the sake of gameplay that just irritates us to no end. Gazer Beam's disappearance and death are a key part of the Incredibles story. It gives weight to the dark themes of the movie, as well as show how insane Syndrome truly is to go as far as to kill supers.
You remember Gazer Beam? Yeah, there was something about him in the paper. He had trouble adjusting to civilian life, too.
But in LEGO Incredibles, TT Games rewrote the story to show he's simply been hiding on Nomanus Island. You mean to tell us that this guy, he's just been hiding in a cave and hasn't figured out a solid escape plan on his own? Wasn't this supposed to be a hero just as renowned and formidable as Mr. Incredible? There were just way better ways to weasel in Mr. Incredible's escape than just rewriting Gazer Beam's entire purpose of the story.
Stand back. I am operating my powerful and incredibly hot laser.
Do your thing, Gazer Beam. Just do it quietly.
Alderaan.
I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away!
This is the most bizarre change to occur in LEGO history. Alderaan is such a key moment in the story of A New Hope. It's a tragic turn of events that convey the stakes Princess Leia has in trying to bring down the Empire. It is such an important moment that LEGO Star Wars 2 made sure to include it, but for Skywalker Saga, Alderaan basically doesn't exist. There is no destruction of the planet whatsoever, and the story moves on without it ever serving a moment of even brief character development for Leia. It's just such a weird omission that any Star Wars fan would be left scratching their heads.
Your Highness, the transmission we received. What is it they've sent us?
Hope.
What other moments do you know of where LEGO games changed the story? Did it make our list? Let us know down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great videos every day.